What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to channel Musa Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about Cavalry and potentially how Cavalry has become the worst troop type for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms. And this is particularly interesting because I actually released a video 3 months ago, or 2 to 3 months ago, that said why Cavalry may be the best troop type for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms in March of 2025. And it says on the thumbnail why you should main Cavalry with that Uncle Musa Sam thing. Basically saying, I want you to main Cavalry. Now, it's been 2 months, 3 months ever since I released that video. And with the release of Baichu, Pincer, which is actually where it started to go wrong for Cavalry, to be really honest with you. And potentially with the release of Qin Shi Huang and Shapur I announced in June of 2025 that Cavalry actually might be the worst troop type for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms as of today. Now, this is just for your reference. This is just the perspective so that everything that I'm saying right now is actually not happened because we haven't seen Qin Shi Huang as of June 19th of 2025, which is the day of me recording this video, by the way. And yeah, we just have Baichu and Pincer as well as Tokugawa Ieyasu just into the game. So this has not happened, but this is just looking out 1 month out into the future. And I think in a month, like, the future of Cavalry is kind of gloom, but I'm actually pretty okay with it, and I'll go over in a little bit why that's the case, right? But first, let's just take a look at the field meta, right? And Cavalry has many different field options. I think one best march that you can actually use on the field is Ho Chubing and Arthur as skill damage dealing commander, and that, I think, Ho Arthur is second best like field commander combination that you can use in Rise of Kingdoms. The first is actually Liu Che Baichu. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this march and how it's currently the second best is because it's actually just about to become the third best march in the field. Now, when the Emperor Qin gets released, which is going to be like within a week or two of posting this video, Emperor Qin will either take the first place for Baichu Liu Che by just dominating the field and just looking at his kit and how he has 10,000 damage factor potential for him to do within 10 seconds, where everyone's just like doing auto attack damage and trying to just rage up. So this is just me speculating at this point, but from the looks of it, Arthur, Zhuge Liang, Arthur, YSG, whatever. No, not Arthur. The Qin Shi Huang, Zhuge Liang, or Qin Shi Huang, YSG. Anything that uses Qin Shi Huang will just be the best field march in the game. And I truly believe this is the case, regardless of how OP Pincer is for our infantry. Just because, yeah, the damage output potential that Qin Shi Huang has, it's just too insane for you to ignore, I think. And I get it. Like, for those of you who are watching and like who are infantry mains, might not get it yet, in my opinion, just because of like how strong Baichu Liu Che is on the field right now and how strong Pincer is right now. But in terms of just strictly talking about field, I think Qin Shi Huang is just made to not fail. I think Lilith, which is the publisher and developer of this game, has realized that, like, yeah, archers needs a revival, and we just need to make the next field commander for archer super OP, and that's what happened. So the best field march place would actually go to Qin Shi Huang plus Alpha, in my opinion, and then the second place would actually be Baichu Liu Che, in my opinion, based on what I've seen so far from what was released, the information that was released of Qin Shi Huang so far. It could very well be different when you actually see him on the field and like, hey, like it's actually just getting run over by a lot of cavalry. That could very well be the case. But just looking at the pure skill power, a pure power level of the kit that Qin Shi Huang just brings to the game is just absolutely insane. Now, with that said, Cavalry is now just left with, okay, well, he has like the mediocre Garrison with Eleanor Hera. And then the rally, which is the best rally placement for Attila Subutai, right? Which is one of the reasons why, Cavalry had back then in March of 2025, I said, hey, Cavalry has the best field march in the game, best rally in the game, so that's why you should main Cavalry because you have the best of both worlds. You may not have the best Garrison, but it's okay because just there's only three places that you really care about in Rise of Kingdoms, which is Garrison, Rally, and Field, and you're the top of the list for both of those, so hey, I didn't really care. But now with the release of Shapur coming to the game, which will completely counter any shield mechanism in Rise of Kingdoms, anything that uses Shapur the first along with for the rally, I think it's going to be Asher Vanapal. So Shapur at Asher Vanapal would just be the best rally that you can run in Rise of Kingdoms because for one, everyone in the Garrison side was running Hera plus Alpha. So Hera with Choyang, Hera with Eleanor, Hera with Gorgo. So anything that uses Hera would just be not usable anymore against Shapur and Ashurbanipal because of how he ignores completely the shielding mechanism of the game and how important shielding is for what's his name, the Hera, right? Because Hera has not only the 1200 damage factor shielding effect, it also deals 1000 extra damage if you have a shield with 30% chance with 8-second cooldown. Now this skill right here is just gonna completely go away in terms of like how strong this used to be. So this is not usable. Half of his active skill is not usable. And this third skill, which also has mighty shielding effect, is not usable anymore. So Hera is just gonna be pushed out of the meta against Shapur specifically, right? And with all that said, Shapur, Asher Vanapal will do extremely well against infantry because infantry only has two secondary commander option, which is Gorgo primary and then Hercules secondary or Tokugawa Ieyasu secondary, right? So the new rally will just basically destroy infantry altogether, just based on how it is like in terms of the meta. So the only way for us to counter that rally is through cavalry or archer, right? And cavalry used to run Eleanor Hera. A lot of people just used to run Eleanor Hera as the best garrison that they can run for cavalry. But now, potentially, I think the only way that we can counter this is going to be using Eleanor Jędzyska. But Jędzyska is such an outdated commander, in my opinion, that it's gonna still struggle greatly against the Shapur Ashurbanipal, regardless of how it doesn't have a shielding effect, it doesn't get countered by what Shapur does and all that stuff. So yeah, I think Eleanor Jędzyska is gonna have a hard time. So cavalry garrison may not be meta against Shapur Ashurbanipal. It may do well against, let's say, something else like infantry rally. Anything infantry rally right now is not really that strong, so Eleanor Hera might be able to do well against that. And what else is there? Attila Subutai can't really do well. So cavalry in terms of garrison looks pretty gloom in terms of its future. I think Archer might be able to do a little better because of how Choyong does have healing, which does not really get countered by Shapur Ashurbanipal. And Daido also doesn't really get anything countered by that March. And in fact, it does have a lot of skill damage reduction built in to the kit. So maybe Archer Garrison might be meta, or Eleanor Jędzyska might be able to counter the Archer rally. But long story short, infantry still has the most updated garrison. It just will be the most meta regardless of what archer does. But then again, it still would do horribly against the Shapur Ashurbanipal, and I think that Shapur Ashurbanipal rally will just be unstoppable until we see another commander come into the game. So cavalry has almost no place for it to be the meta in garrison meta anymore, unless you're up against non-Shapur Ashurbanipal rally. And it will lose its first place as the rally lead too, right? Attila Subutai is no longer going to be the best rally in the game. I think Shapur Ashurbanipal will be. So it will be the second best rally in the game. So cavalry, all of a sudden, within the 3 months, has become the worst, having the worst, kind of like the best troop to march in the open field, for one. And then two, it will have the second best rally, which is fine. But three, it will have like not the best garrison also. So in all different places that we care about, that we talked about in the previous video that I posted 3 months ago, cavalry has actually come down to just not really excel in all those places. So I hope you're actually getting where I'm going for with this, right? But then again, I'm actually okay with it. I actually talked about it in the beginning of the video, and how I speculate that in the next month or so, cavalry is going to have a rough time. But then again, eventually I'm okay with it. Although I've invested a ton of money and resources into building my best cavalry set on and all that, like I'm okay with it. And the reason for this is, one, because I think cavalry has not yet seen the full potential of combo for field, right? Arthur currently is being used with Philip, and I don't know if anyone uses Bertrand right now, but a lot of people are thinking about using Bertrand because we don't have any. Sorry, someone started doing some construction work outside, so I closed the door. Well, yeah. So some people are considering using Bertrand just so that we don't have a combo damage dealing commander at the moment, and then you're using William as the pairing for Arthur, just because even though he does skill damage, we don't really have that good of a pairing, right? But I'm sure some of you have seen how I was able to dominate the field in the last KVK that I did with artifacts on Liu Che and running Arthur, Liu Che as arch formation. And that has done exceptionally well. So if cavalry gets another combo damage dealing commander, I think the potential of combo stacking one another, just triggering combo on top of each commander's skill, is going to actually be really OP, I think, in my opinion, when the next combo damage dealing commander releases in, I don't know, next 2 months. I'm assuming it's going to be about leadership. So in 4 months. In 4 months, I think cavalry does have a really great feature coming up to the game, right? So best pairing for Arthur coming to the game will actually turn the table around. And that's all you need. You just need the hope that you will be back at the first place for just being on the field, because inevitably, the latest cavalry commander was released like 5 months ago, and then we have gone through the full cycle of releasing another infantry commanders and then another set of archer commanders. So it is okay for cavalry to be the last place in terms of the best troop to main in 2025 right now, because other newer commanders have been released in infantry and archer at the moment, right? But if the next combo attack damage commander is really good, then I think cavalry will potentially have its place back on the field as the best troop type to main for the fielding especially. And yeah, so that's the main reason, right? Again, I don't think Cavalry currently has a way for them to really unlock the full potential of Butterfly Effect. I mean, you can use Bertrand. I'm building Bertrand right now because I can't wait for the next combo dealing commander, right? Like, and like, you know, who knows, maybe Bertrand will be usable with other commanders in the future, but like, yeah, like I'm building Bertrand, but I don't think he's gonna be as strong as maybe using Philip, if not just right on the level of using Philip with Arthur to just deal just as much damage as possible. But like, yeah, like Bertrand is not it. Bertrand was not the commander that we were looking for. But yeah, when we get our place back as the best troop type for you to main in the field, I think we're okay with it. In terms of Garrison, though, I don't know if Garrison's future is really bright too, because I'm assuming that they're gonna actually give us a combo damage dealing Garrison, and the only way for us to use that combo damage dealing Garrison most likely is probably with Attila again, because we don't have any other combo damage dealing Garrison at the moment. And Attila is the only commander in the game right now that does some sort of normal damage and normal damage only for Cavalry. So most likely I'll probably speculate that Attila plus Alpha, whatever the next combo damage dealing, what's his name? Combo damage dealing Garrison is going to be like the next Cavalry meta. And I'm not sure if that will be quote unquote good enough for us to be the best Garrison commander. I take the best Garrison place from away from infantry, but I think we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, just long story short, in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, one, I think Cavalry is indeed in the worst place that it has been in the past half year. Within 2025, I think Cavalry is in the worst place so far, because of how strong Chin is going to be on the field, how strong Japoro is going to be on the rally side, which were the two places that Cavalry's excelled at today. But I'm okay with it because in 4 months, which is going to be much shorter than what I anticipated, because we've seen the commander release cycle has become very short and much shorter than before for the last two infantry and archer release. So I think until Cavalry has the full combo like field commander pairing in the game, I don't think they're gonna stop. They meaning with Lilith is gonna stop releasing those commanders. So once they come, just having Cavalry exclusively just excel at basically on the field, and then having infantry excel at the garrison, and then having archer excel at the rally, I think that's gonna be kind of like a healthy meta that's about to come for Rise of Kingdoms. But what do you guys think? Do you agree that in my speculation that Cavalry has become the worst troop type for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms ever since like March of 2025, where I thought the Cavalry was the best troop for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms? If you did, let me know down below in the comment down below. If you don't agree with my comment on the Cavalry, and like if you don't think that Cavalry is the worst troop type for you to main in Rise of Kingdoms as of June of 2025, also let me know on the Discord link down below or on the comment down below so that we can talk about it. And I just love those discussions. I just love talking about Rise of Kingdoms at the end of the day. So feel free to drop a thumbs up and just let me know what you think. Anyways, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, peace!